Okay, so hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Nitin Lama. So, a warm welcome to the TECHX session. Our focus today is on the world of cron jobs, specifically in the context of task automation within Drupal. So, over the course of this presentation, we'll delve into the fascinating realm of automation. Okay, and we'll explore the fundamental concepts of cron jobs and we'll provide an overview of cron jobs in Drupal, and then we'll discuss various essential aspects of creating your very first custom Drupal cron jobs. Okay, so now let's dive into the very first chapter, which is automation. So, what is automation? So, can we say that automation refers to the use of technology, machinery, or software to perform tasks, processes, or operations with minimal or no human intervention? Right? So in simpler terms, we can say that automation is the use of technology where very little human effort is required to perform a task. Okay. So the primary objective of automation is to have a very streamlined and optimized workflow. Uh, the other objective should be to reduce manual efforts. And the next objective should be to improve efficiency, enhance accuracy, and to increase productivity. Okay. So I'm sure that all of you here have likely seen the movie Three Idiots, right? It's a memorable film. And one particular scene that might come to mind is when Amir Khan discusses about machines. So you might recall the part where he was challenged to provide a definition of machines, right? So in return, what does he say? So he says that a machine is anything that reduces human effort. Okay. So now what if we add automation to the machine? Can we say it an automated machine? Right. So can we say an automated machine is anything that reduces human effort way better than a normal machine does? Yes, we can say it because it will follow an streamlined workflow and it will reduce the human effort way better than a normal machine does. So in simpler terms, automation is all about making things work automatically to save time and effort. As technology continues to advance, we can expect to see automated machines, technology, and software playing a more significant role in many industries and everyday tasks. So now keeping all these things in mind and asking question to ourselves, how can we automate things? How can we automate something? We now move to the next topic, which is cron jobs. So what are cron jobs? So the word cron you often hear in the world of computers, right? Especially in operating systems like Linux. So it's a way to schedule tasks based on time. Okay. A cron is a scheduler tool on a Unix system like Linux. Okay. So now what is a scheduler tool? So in Unix system, a scheduler tool refers to a component of the OS which is responsible for managing and coordinating the execution of various processes and tasks on the computer. Think of your computer as a chef in a big kitchen. The scheduler tool is like the chef's helper who tells chef which cooking job to do next. So it's like a list of course where the helper decides what's most important and make sure the chef doesn't spend all their time in just one thing. So this way the computer works well, just like a kitchen where every dish gets the right amount of attention and no meal takes forever to cook. So we are now very clear with what are cron jobs. So cron job is an automated task that uses cron, which is a scheduler tool. Crons are daemon. Now, what is a daemon? So a daemon is basically a background process which executes the non-interactive jobs. Again, in Unix operating system, a daemon is a component or a sort of program, you can say, that quietly runs in the background without any human interactions. It just waits to be, to get activated when a specific scenario or event occurs. Now, as I said that daemons are like little computer programs that can start doing things automatically when a certain event happens. Well, these events could be things like a clock reaching a particular time, a certain amount of time passing, a file showing up in a specific folder, or it can be, email you received, or someone sending a message over the internet. It's basically like having a robot that wakes you up and starts working when it hears a specific sound or when something specific happens. Okay. So with cron jobs, users can automate system maintenance, disk-based monitoring, and backups and at regular intervals. The term cron comes from the Greek word chronos, which means time, which actually makes sense as cron is a scheduler tool. Okay. So while cron job scheduling is popular among system administrator, it is also useful for web developers. Okay, so think of it as a built-in alarm clock for your website task. So you set it up once and it will automatically do things like clean up your site every 3 hours if you want, or you can change it to run it more or less often, like every hour, every day, or every week. It's like having a helpful assistance for your website maintenance. Okay, so usually cron is installed in the system, but if it's not, you can use the command, which is sudo apt update and sudo apt install cron to install cron in your system. When you install, you can use the other command sudo systemctl enable cron to enable the cron in your system. Okay, so now the question comes, how can we enable cron, or how can we set up a cron based on our requirements? So here comes cron tab in rescue basically. So what is a cron tab? A cron tab is like a to-do list of tasks you want your computer to do at specific times, and it's also the name of the command you use to create and manage that list. So cron tab stands for cron table. In Linux, each user has their own cron tab that can be used to schedule jobs that will be run as that user. So in Linux, each user has their own cron tab. Okay, so each user can have their own cron jobs, and then you can view or update cron tab file using the cron tabs command. For example, cron tab -e is used to update the cron tab file. Cron tab L is used to list down or show the command store in your cron tab file. So that is what about cron tab is. Now to uh, create a cron expressions, we have a syntax, okay, to create a cron expression for schedule cron jobs. So the syntax of each line expects a cron expression, which are made of 5 fields, which represents the time to execute the command, followed by a shell command to execute. Now, these 5 fields represents minute, hour, day of month, day of week, and so, and then the command to execute. Okay. So for example, let's say I want my cron job to be scheduled at every 1 minute. So we'll be using this cron expression to, and then the command to for the desired specific job. So for every 2 minutes, the expression will be like star slash two, and then followed by these other stars. At every 15 minutes, it follows the same pattern. At every 1 hour, we'll use zero. Now, these all examples are pretty simple, but to understand this expression is little bit complicated. So we will not be covering that in this session. But thanks to crontab guru, which is basically a simple editor for cron schedule expressions. So from there you can create your own custom scheduling time expression, cron expression. So if I go to cron tab guru, so you can see that you can adjust, or you can create your own custom expressions over here. So as this says that it will run every minute, and for the next 5 days or five uh, and then basically it will show the next 5 times when it will run. So since it's in every minute, so it's like 417, 418, 419. Now let's say if I want to run it every uh, at midnight on every day. So I'll just add 00, and you can see the scheduled jobs which will run at midnight. You can also go over the example, and you can see like different expressions for different scheduling jobs, right? You can also uh, set between certain hours, right? For example, I want to run a cron job between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. For every hour. So it will run on 11 and then 12 and then 1 p.m., then 2 p.m. Okay. So to do this, we will be using this expression. It may sound a little complicated, but let's move with the demo. So it will be more clearer. So over here, you can see I'm using the cron tab dash L command. And this is something I have added in that cron tab file. Okay. So each star represents minute, hour, and different time frames. Okay. So I have basically created a script folder in which I'm creating a bash file test.sh, and I'm giving the read and write permission for the specific user, for me basically. Okay, so you can see that I have created a test.sh file. Now this is a shell. So basically this is a bash file in which will run let's say for every 1 minute in this demo. Okay, so in this bash file, what I'll do, I'll write a command to create a file named test.txt, and in that test.txt, I will add a print date inside that file. Okay, so for every 1 minute, it will cron will run and it will print the date. Okay, add command, or to update the commands, we use cron tab dash e command. Okay, and then I press insert I, and then we can add the rules cron expression and then the command to execute. So over here I'm just I have written, so basically this will run for every 1 minute as we seen in the expression, and every 1 minute this bash file will be called, and when bash file will be called, it will basically uh, print date inside that test.txt file. Okay, you can see that current date is like 8/22. Okay, if I open the file, it's 8/22 again. Now basically let's wait for 1 minute. This won't take much long, and as soon as it the time 1 minute is done, there will be an entry in the test.txt, which will proves that cron is running. Okay. Okay. So here you go. You can see that there's a new entry in test.txt, which says that the cron is running. Okay. So that was an example of cron job in Linux. And in the shell command, in the bash file, you can basically do n number of work, like disk cleaning or backup, doing like on regular intervals. You can back up the site and so on. It depends on the need. The next topic is Drupal cron job. Okay, so now Drupal has a handy feature called automated cron. So this automated cron is basically in is as a core module in Drupal. Okay, so the key features of this automated cron is schedule maintenance task. So in simpler terms, Drupal's automated cron is like a behind the scene helper, right? That does regular course of your website. It cleans up the website storage, checks for important updates, and take care of other routines jobs without bothering you basically. So this helps keep your website running smoothly without you having to do this task manually. The second is configurable frequency. So if I say frequency, it basically means how frequent the particular cron job should run. So if you are in charge of your Drupal website, you can decide how often the automated cron job should do its work. So by default, it does its task every 3 hours, but you can change that to your better suit for your website requirements. So you can set this schedule by basically you can set this schedule by going to Drupal admin settings. Okay. The third is background process. Now think of automated cron uh, as a silent worker which works in background. Okay. It gets things done without disturbing the part of your website that visitors sees. And also it does not need outside tools to know when to do its task. So it uses its own internal clock, which much like an alarm clock that wakes you up at a specific time without needing help from another device. Okay, so those were some key features of automated cron. Now let's move for the demo for a Drupal cron, like how Drupal cron works, how cron works in Drupal. So over here, I'm just creating a custom module which will implement a hook cron. Okay, so this is just a simple cron. And inside this hook cron, we can do multiple or uh, we can do many things inside that hook cron. It depends on the requirements, right? So over here, just for the demo, I'll be just uh, logging a message. Whenever the cron will run, we will log a message in db log, which will prove that cron is running. Okay. Just a simple module to understand the concept. Okay, so since we are going to implement hook cron, so we'll need a dot module file. Inside this, we'll implement our hook cron. And inside that hook cron, we can do our processes. So for this demo, I'll be just logging a message in the DB log when we hit the run cron button from Drupal. So here is a hook cron, which will basically just um, log a message whenever a cron will run. Okay. Now let's install the module. As you can see that the module is installed. Mm, You can see the last run cron was 8 minutes ago. And now you can see when the cron ran, uh, the message got logged in the DB log. Okay, so over here we can do multiple processes, right? We can send emails on specific schedule timings. We can back up the database or and so on. Okay, so that was a basic example, and to understand the concept, how the hook cron and Drupal cron works. So basically, uh, if we discuss about Drupal cron, definitely with great responsibility comes great, sorry, great, with great powers comes great responsibility and also some limitations, right? So the first limitations of using Drupal cron is like the simultaneously execution of hook cron modules and resource challenges. Now, when I say this, it's like when there are several modules that uses the hook cron function. So in a website, in a big website, in a complex website, there can be multiple hook crons, right? So when there are several modules that uses the hook cron function, they all run simultaneously, either in alphabetical order or based on the weight assigned to each module. Okay, so this can make a web page request more resource intensive all at once and has the potential to exceed memory limits on complex websites. Okay, so this was the first limitation. The second is handling errors in cron tasks and identifying culprits for smooth executions. So basically, if there's an error in one cron task, it can halt the entire cron process, okay, preventing the executions of the remaining task until the issue is fixed. So it is also challenging to identify which task is causing the problem. So in order to identify the culprit, we have to go to all the hook crons inside each module, and we have to, optimize and identify which hook cron is actually taking more time. The third is optimizing cron execution by analyzing task duration. So, as I said, to improve the efficiency of cron execution and to optimize the cron runtime, it is important to examine which cron task is consuming more time during their run. Okay, so these are all limitations which uh, which is there using if you are using automated cron in Drupal. Okay. Now to overcome all these limitations, Drupal provides us with modules like Ultimate Cron, Super Cron, Elysia Cron, and etc. Now all these modules are one or the same with more added features. Now basically, Super Cron is unsupported. The module is abandoned due to some security issues. The module is no longer developed by the maintainer, whereas Elysia Cron is for Drupal 7. Okay, so in this presentation, in this session, we will be discussing about Ultimate Cron. Okay, now how does Ultimate Cron helps? So basically, the first being the parallel execution of cron task and error isolation and independence. So basically, tasks are no longer executed sequentially. Now they can run in parallel. Okay, this means that if one cron task encounters an error, it won't affect the independent execution of other tasks, right? So this is a great enhancement. The second is individual configuration for cron jobs with differing schedules, which means that you can configure each cron job separately, right? For example, you can set up your cron job to run every hour and another cron job to run every 2 hours, right? So this is something you can individually configure the cron jobs. Third is independent logging for each cron job. So each cron job can have separate logs. Okay, you can see if any error or warnings are there for particular cron jobs. Okay, so so when we install Ultimate Cron, so after installing Ultimate Cron, we get some predefined cron jobs that the module provides. For example, cleanups, caching tables of and temporary files, also removing expired log messages and history deletion. Okay, so what if we want an out of box cron job, right? Out of box means a cron job which is not predefined by the ultimate cron module, right? Any functionality you have to do which the ultimate cron doesn't provide. So in that case, we have to create our own custom ultimate cron job. Okay. So in Drupal, cron jobs are like you can say a config entities. Okay. So you have to create a config file in your custom module, and then you have to install that module to load that configurations in your site. Okay. So in order to create a custom ultimate cron job, the first step is to create a file. Uh, Basically, before file, we need to first create a directory, which is config slash install. And inside install folder, we need to create a file which will be named as ultimatecron.job.jobname.yaml. So the job name will be the ID of your job. Okay. So now let's create a own custom cron ultimate cron job. Okay. So let's go to the demo. Now, as I said that in Drupal cron jobs are like config entities. Okay, we need to create our uh, configuration file. Okay, so before doing that, we first need to install Ultimate Cron module. So I've already installed, but you can see over here that it's present over the internet, and in the Drupal site, you can install it. Okay. So I've already ran the composer command. So I'm just installing the Ultimate Cron module. And you can see that here's another section as cron jobs. So this is some predefined cron jobs that I was talking about earlier. Okay, so here is a module title and schedule column, last run duration, status, and then operations. So any new custom cron job will be visible over here, over in this panel. Okay, so you can edit any one of those. Okay, these are the settings. Scheduler is the timing which the cron will run, and the launcher will basically launch that particular cron job. And then the logger is used for to log any messages or any exceptions during the cron job running. So first step was to create a file inside install directory. So over here, I'm creating a configuration file. So basically what I'll do, I'm just publishing the article content which are in unpublished mode. Okay. So our custom cron job, what will do? So it will basically publish all the article contents which are unpublished. Okay. So and that particular cron job will run every minute for this demo. Okay, we can set multiple and rules cron expression depending upon the requirements over, but in this demo I'll be setting it up for just 1 minute. So if you are wondering that how these keys and values I'm like putting in the file, so like once you install Ultimate Cron, you can just go to configuration and export the configurations of the predefined cron jobs which were created. Okay, and when you export, you will basically get these keys and values. Okay, so as I said, in Drupal, cron jobs are like config entities. You need to uh, copy, basically just copy those configurations, and just you can use those configuration in your custom cron jobs. Okay. So over here, I have defined an ID, a title, and the module in which the our ultimate custom cron job is, and then a callback function, which will be called whenever uh, a specified time is reached. So over here, I'm using scheduler. ID is will be simple, and then here is the rules which will be used. Okay, so we can use that cron tab guru for reference for the requirement. So that is pretty easy. So this rules represent that a cron job will run every 1 minute. Okay, now I'll be writing a custom callback function inside dot module, and we don't need this hook cron. So I'm will be printing a message and then a process. So the process is to publish all the unpublished article notes. Okay. So for that, I'll write a query to get all the unpublished article notes, and then we'll run a loop inside all those IDs, and then I'll set that all those unpublished notes to publish. So as I said, I'm writing a query to fetch all the unpublished notes, and then a loop and loading the object node object with the ID, and then setting that those particular nodes to publish. And currently this demo is in Drupal 10. So if we go to content, I've already created an article which is already in unpublished state. Now to um, install those configurations, I need to install back the module, a custom module, to have those configurations in our site. Okay. Now you can see that the module is installed. And if I refresh this cron job section, you can see that here is a custom ultimate cron job. Okay, and it is set for every 1 minute as we have wrote the expression. Okay, now let's run it. And you can see that our custom callback function is being called. Okay, and if we go to content and just refresh it, you will see that our particular article is published now. So this will happen for every 1 minute. And for the demo, I'm just running it. Okay, so in this way, we can also create our own custom ultimate cron job and with a callback function, which will be run based on the cron expression we have provided in the configuration file. So, so till now, basically, we have covered three different methods of running cron, right? The first was cron tab in Linux. The second was Drupal cron, where we were using Drupal cron hook, okay, where we were using hook cron method. The third is ultimate cron, where we have defined our callback function. Now, there is also a fourth way through which we can run cron. Okay, so that fourth way is to running the cron using external calls. Okay, so we can use the cron tab in the server. Okay, in the Linux server, we can use this command cron tab and um, write a custom command, right? In with a cron expression in over there. Okay. The second is also to create an external cron job services like easy cron or cronlix. Now these both are paid plans. So in order to use these services, you have to pay some amount. Basically, you have to be a premium member for their services. Okay, so to just show you an example, uh, I've just taken some images from Google. So this is how it looks. Okay, so over here you can uh, put your uh, that particular URL from where the Drupal cron will be called. Okay, we will discuss this in the demo and I will show you how it's done. Okay, so you can also choose the interval from here in easy cron. Okay, and then you can basically create a cron job. And for the cronless, it's the same way. Okay, just you have to give a name and then web page URL that will be hit for whenever that specific time period is done. Okay, and then you have to create a job. Okay, so basically for performance reasons, or if you want to ensure that cron can only ever run from an external trigger, so it is desirable to disable the automated cron system, right? So basically we don't want that cron runs multiple times. We just want that it should be run. If it's running externally, we just want to be run it from over there. So it is desirable to disable the automated cron systems for performance reasons. Okay, so to enable to disable the automated cron, we can set it to never from the admin settings in Drupal site, or we can add this particular line config automated cron dot settings interval dot is equal to 0, inner settings.php. Okay. So let's move for the demo for external triggers. So we'll be basically going through the first point, which was cron tab in the server. So currently I'll be using a cron. Currently we'll be using a local server for the cron. Okay. Now this is the link which we have to use in order to run it externally. Okay. In order to run the cron externally. So we just need this link. Okay. And also we can uh, update this link as well. So here I have set the cron to never. So I just want that my website cron runs from the external. As you can see here, as no command currently. So I'll write a command which will basically hit this URL, let's say every 1 minute. Okay. So this is a command which you can easily get from Drupal.org to run the to hit the URL from cron tab. Okay. So this will be the URL link which we need. So every 1 minute, this URL will be called, and once this URL will be called, uh, cron will be, will run in a Drupal. As you can see, current time is 56. So I have recorded it at late night, so it's 12:56. Let's wait for 1 minute. Okay, so its last run was 20 minutes. Okay, we are about to cover 1 minute. So yeah, it's now 57. Now if I refresh this, you can see 7 seconds ago our cron ran. Okay, and in recent log, you can see that our ultimate cron message also got logged. And if I see our content which was unpublished, so this will also get published. Okay. So in the server, you can basically use this command to to run the cron externally, not from Drupal. Again, 1 minute has done. So the cron, our cron ran again, and again the same process is happening. So for the demo, I'm just setting it for 1 minute. It can be set for every midnight as discussed, and you can use cron tab guru for more custom schedule time. So let's say this, I want to run my cron like every midnight. So I'll just change it to 00 and then I'll save it. And now I'm free. So basically, the cron tab will take care of our cron. Okay, cron job. So this particular command will run every day at midnight. Um, okay, so that was the last demo of the session. So now let's come to the conclusion. Uh, so basically, in today's world, Drupal cron job systems remains essential for automated site maintenance. Okay. So, however, its design limitation and potential resource impact are better addressed with modern alternatives like scheduled tasks, right? The cron expressions which we have used in server, or it can be external cron services, which ensures smoother website performance and management. Also, automated technology and machines are very fascinating aspects of the future that holds the potential to revolutionize various aspects of our lives. However, adopting automation will also require careful consideration of its impact on the workforce and society as a whole. So, definitely, we will need automation and automated technology, but we have to consider the impacts. Okay, so that's it from my side. I hope the session was helpful and thank you. Oh, do you have any questions?
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I had an amazing time learning all the new things here at Specbee's TechX. And if you did too, do let us know in the comments below. Keep following Specbee for the latest trends in technology. See you in the next one.